Ron, good to have you with us.
Thanks, Hal. You too.
You some time ago said that the seeds were in place for a prolonged decline, maybe even a bear market that may not be as deep as some we've seen recently, like the 2007, 8, 9 bear market, but might be prolonged. Explain whether you still feel that way or feel it even more so today.
Yeah, I think I do, Tyler. And while, others have suggested that the first day of a war historically has been a day on which you buy stocks, and we saw that certainly with the first Gulf War, where the bear market had actually bottomed in October of 1990, oil prices peaked at the same time. And the first day of that war, we actually ripped to the upside and oil crashed. In 2003, when we went into Iraq, we were coming at the end of a bear market with the crash of the internet stocks, the corporate scandals, 9/11 all folded in. This is a different situation where I think maybe, as some have mentioned previously, we're already in the process of deglobalizing. And as we now face almost Cold War style problems, both with Russia and China, to me, it looks like not only are we deglobalizing, but not the risk of World War III, but World War E might be upon us, where economic sanctions and other dislocations in the global economy will be the result of these renewed conflicts worldwide.
The head of Stifel just said that he sees higher inflation as one of the derivatives of what's going on with respect to the sanctions, with respect to trade, Russia's control of some metals, fertilizer, among other commodities. Do you see that as well? In other words, that this will increase already heightened inflation?
Yeah, and look, we learned from the pandemic that kind of disruption already has, made that materialize in a variety of markets, and this will only exacerbate the situation. And as we said back at the end of January, we're staring down the barrel of two problems, which is the Fed first and foremost, and now geopolitical conflicts that have the net effect of raising prices. So I think while the market may be right to rally here because it's so oversold, we've seen a 20% peak to trough pullback in the NASDAQ, about 14% in the S&P, 12% in the Dow. I do think that this market isn't fully washed out yet and may face slightly more, I would say, prolonged period of, if not downward action, certainly sideways action before we get back on track.
Ron, I don't know if you were here when he was speaking, but General McCaffrey was commenting about the nature of Russia's incursion and saying he didn't see a lot of pushback, that it could maybe be over in a matter of days. And it just makes me wonder, how are we even defining this conflict? And what would that mean in terms of fallout? And then you have the president saying, well, we have to wait about a month to see the full effect of these sanctions and so forth.
Yeah, and General McCaffrey, who I've known now since 9/11, also pointed out that Vladimir Putin may be unhinged and may want to put together or put back together parts of the old Soviet Union, which, if is the case, creates another set of issues that, put again, as the president suggested, U.S. troops on the front line in the Baltics, in Poland, and elsewhere. So we could see further sanctions beyond what's already transpired, particularly if Vladimir Putin would get more adventuresome from here. And if the Chinese, who, by the way, again, buzzed Taiwan today with fighter planes, decided that that's part of their territorial integrity and decide to move forward in that regard as well. So while I'm, typically not, screamingly bearish all the time, and I don't think I am now, I think that the world is changing and we're revisiting 20th century problems that we thought we had put to bed 30 to 35 years ago.
Yeah, I've thought of it in much the same way this morning, Ron. I thought that, when the Berlin Wall fell and the Soviet Union disintegrated, it was a generational moment. Well, now we're a generation later, and this may be another generational moment. We'll find out. Ron,
I agree, yeah. We're multiple generations away from those who had to fight this kind of war in the past.
Yeah. Ron Insana, thanks.